it do, man? This is your boy Lonnie Lifts. Yeah, man, coming to you with this brand new video right now. All the time, people leave comments. I never answer back, So I was like, today I came out of work. I just got out of work, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go through the comments and see which is the questions that I'm gonna answer. So, as you can tell, people send me a lot of comments, and people want to ask, where are you from in New York? What was your first job? Do you have kids? Have you ever been into trouble with the law? Have you ever experienced racism? And those are some of the things that I wrote down from my comments. When did you started to lift weights? What made you want to work? What made you want to start working out? Where are you? Why are you always working out by yourself? So those are questions that people leaves in my comment. Then another one that I wrote down, they ask, "Are you religious?" Because in a lot of your videos, you always say, "God bless everybody." That's just me. Like, all right, I'm gonna address every week. I'll make a video like this. I always make video about working out. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't really tell you who I am and my story and stuff like that. And obviously, you're asking, so you want to know. All right, so here we go. For the first question, where are you from in New York? I'm from the Bronx. I was bred in the Bronx, New York. Yeah, I mean, that's my home. Love it. Been in the Bronx basically all my life. Done travel over the United States. I done travel. I did a couple of traveling, but basically Bronx is where I call home. So yeah, there you go. There that goes. What was your first job? Actually, I had a couple of jobs. My first real job was for Blockbuster Videos. I don't know if you ever heard about Blockbuster Videos. And that was back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. I used to work in Blockbuster Videos until I think up to the early 2000s when all the streaming service came along and the videos and the DVDs, all of the stuff got played out. So basically, there goes that job. After that job was finished, I basically took a turn to the left, meaning that I left from that job, I went straight to the streets. And I'll get into the street life with you basically. And before I start saying, I start telling you a little bit about myself, just know that a lot of things I probably say to you, I'm not proud of a lot of things that I've done back then, but I'm very, very grateful. I don't regret nothing that I've done. I'm not proud of a lot of things I've done, but I don't regret it because it made me who I am today. It made me a very stand-up person. And hopefully those videos, people who look at this channel, from wherever you're at in the world, hopefully you can learn something from this. Hopefully you can make your day better, your week, your year. I mean, those are just some stories from my past to where I'm at now. So I left from that job. I went to the streets. It's in like early 2000s. Went to the streets, with my boys hanging out, doing. I ain't gonna get in specific shit what we was doing, but what comes with the streets. The drugs, the gambling, the drinking. You know what comes with the streets. If you're not from the streets, that's the life. You don't want to ever go to the streets. You don't. You don't want to go to that. You don't want to take that turn in your life. It's not an easy turn. What comes with that? Being arrested, constantly being arrested, in and out of jail. You know what I mean? Like going through a whole bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? But it made me strong, and I learned a lot. I mean, and all those things I was going through, I always believed in being good to people. Don't matter what you do in life. Don't matter how much people is going to judge you, because at the end of the day, everybody's not going to like you. You know what I mean? You're not going to always have fans. Everybody's not going to be your friends. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to think you're cool. So you get to live with that. You get to, like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But always keep your respect towards others. Always be respectful. Always be grateful. Always be honest. Always. No matter what you're doing in life. Regardless who might think is bad, who might think is good. If in your heart you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing is bad, don't matter. That's what you like doing. But just always be respectful, bro. Because you never know who you're gonna run into, or who's that person you're gonna need down the line in your life. So I was one of those people, like, you know what I mean? Like, I always kept my respect, no matter what I might do or what we was doing, or do we go there, we go here, no matter. I always keep my respect to people. So bottom line is, I stood in the streets for a couple of years. You know what I mean? I stood in the streets for a couple of years, dibbing and dabbing, just basically wasting my life. Bottom line, you know what I mean? Wasting my life, bro. After, I'll say like in the like 2013, 2014, like 20 year, like 2012, 2013, a lot of things started going bad amongst me and the people I was around. You know, and I'm very loyal. I'm a very loyal person. So if I'm around you and we see that if I consider you my friend, I ride for you, bro. I ride. I'm there for you no matter what. You know what I mean? I'm there for you. I'm always been like that. So I say around 2012, 2013, shit started going left. One thing you have to know about in the streets is no loyalty. It's no loyalty at all. Once again, if you're thinking about going into the street life, always know one thing first. It's no loyalty. Don't matter who you think is your friend, doesn't matter how many people you think they are your friends. When coming to the streets, you have to be very careful who you call your friends. Back to the story, you know what I mean? So around 2012, 2013, shit started hitting the fan. I mean, a lot of crazy stuff was happening. Once again, I don't want to be specific, but a lot of crazy stuff was happening when coming to the police and all of that shit. So, mind you, I always tell it throughout my journey, I always kept respect as number one. Always been respectful to people. Because you never know, once again, when you're going to need somebody in the long run. So, always be respectful to people until somebody give you a reason to not be respectful to them still. Keep your respect, but you stay away from them. You know what I mean? Like, you don't wish bad on people. You wish good for everybody. Even those that wish bad on you. You don't go down to their level and be like, oh, you know what? Or you say fuck me, or then you know what, fuck you. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. Fuck me, no problem. I wish you the best. Have a good day. You try to stay away from them. Yeah, I mean, so that's me. Always kept my cool. Always kept respect to those who was good to me, and even those who was bad to me. Always kept respectful. So when things started going left, you know what I mean? Shit started going sour in the streets, and people that I met along the way, along my journey in the street life. I mean, a lot of people, grown people, you know what I mean, used to just come to me and tell me, like, listen, bro, it's time to get out. It's time to walk away. Right now is the time to walk away. And I'm like, walk away? I got my own schedule. I got making money. I'm fucking happy as fuck. You know what I mean? I'm chilling. Walk away? What the hell's no? A month later, after that, one person told me, yo, listen, it's time to get away. Another person who I knew for years came up to me again. Sent me in the supermarket, actually. Sent me in the supermarket. And they came up to me and I was like, listen, bro, I like you, man. You're a very respectful person, but you could do a lot better with your life. You know what I mean? Like, you could do the right things and you could make an honest living. You know what I mean? Because you always been good to me. You always been respectful. I know what you do. I know what you be doing, but you always been respectful to me and my family. And I'm going to be honest with you. And I think this is the time for you to make a change. I mean, I'm like, damn, son. The second person that, you know what I mean, I have the utmost respect for telling me this stuff. So then I'm like, you know what? Damn, son. All right. I kept rolling. I kept the ball rolling. Like, yeah, I mean, fuck it. It was so sweet at the time. I was like, I ain't, fuck that. You know what I mean? But like 3 months down the line, another person. And that person I ran into in a party. And they were just passing through. They wasn't going at the party to hang out. They were just actually passing through. They was invited, but they, you know what I mean? There wasn't that type of life. They wasn't with hanging out with the crowd that was invited to that party. They wasn't really trying to be around that crowd. You know what I mean? They was different. So, make a long story short, everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, bump into the third person that was like, yo, bro, You gotta get out. You gotta get away from these people. Those people you think is your friends, they're not your friend. You gotta get out. Hopefully, next time I see you, your life is changed and you're doing the right things. Dude, no lie, that day, I'm like, I couldn't even party, bro. I had a couple of drinks, and I'm like, yo, let me get out of here, bro. You know what I mean? A week after that, my mother ended up getting sick, dude, and going to the hospital. You know what I mean? My mom's ended up going to the hospital, dude. So I remember the day after my mom's went to the hospital, I went to go visit her. I was still doing me. You know what I mean? I went to go visit my mom's, and my mom's is talking in the hospital, and she's laying on the hospital bed, and she's telling me like, oh, she's stressed out. She be having dreams about bad things happening to me, this and this and this. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I heard it from three strangers that cared about me, but now I'm hearing it from my mom's, dude. So it's now or never, dude. I swear to you, that day I left the hospital after hanging out with my mom. Just stood there for like 3.5 hours, dude. Just thinking, though, thinking, bro. And my phone's is ringing crazy. At that time, I had 2, 3 phones off the hook, ringing, 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 ringing. And mind you, I'm with my mom, so. And I'm like, yo, Mo, I just kept staying, just staying. After like 3.5 hours, I'm like, you know what, Mo? I got out of the hospital, went into the parking lot, got my car, got into the car, Mo, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to my mom, so I gotta change. Dead ass. I was like, that same day, dude, I was like, I gotta do something different, bro. You know what I mean? So throughout that whole day, I did what I had to do. I had a couple of more, you know what I mean? I had a couple of more moves I had to make. I made the moves that I had to make that day, and the day comes out the day after that. Literally, the day after that, dude, I woke up and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a change in my life, dude. I'm gonna change. Dead ass. And it was, bro, it wasn't, thank God that day I made that change, because from like 2, 3 days later, crazy stuff started happening. Literally, after I just woke up and I'm like, you know what? The phones, I threw all the phones away. I broke them, threw them away. I was done. I was done, dude. Literally, I was done. You know what I mean? I was like, now is the time. I went, took a shower. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go look for a job. Mind you, I was good. You know what I mean? Money wise, financially wise, I was good, dude. You know what I mean? But this was just, bro. This was just the beginning of what's to come. Literally, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? And I walked away more because when you're in the streets, a lot of dudes be thinking, okay, you know what? I'll run the streets and I also have a legit job. It doesn't work like that. Being in deep as me and the people I was around, we was deeply involved in the streets. So at that level, it's not about, oh, you know what, let me go get a legit job, pay taxes, but still do dirt on the side. No, no, no. It's a big mistake. If you think it's a big mistake. Don't never make that type of mistake, bro. When you say you out, get out. I got out, you know what I mean? Literally, I woke up the day after, took a shower, man. I was like, I'm gonna go look for a job. So, right where I live at, there was a building right across the street. You know what I mean? There was a place across the street where I knew the general manager. So, me and the general manager we like, I knew him for a long time because I've been living in the neighborhood for a long time. You know what I mean? So, I used to always go over there, say hello to them, blah, 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 make a long story short. So, I went to him, I'm like, listen, bro, I really need a job, man. You know what I mean? Like, he knew me. He knew what I was involved in. Like, he knew I was in the streets. You know what I mean? So, one time I was like, yo, bro, listen, I need a job, man. I need to try, you know what I mean? I'm trying to change everything. Literally, I'm trying to do a 360 change. So, he's like, listen, bro, listen, Len, I could hire you, man, but you got to promise me, bro, you're not going to bring this stuff over here because this is a family business. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yo, I like you, I respect you, but you can't bring that stuff in here. I mean, I'm like, no, listen, bro, I promise you, bro, I'm done that life. I'm done with that life, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be better, bro. I just want to prove to my moms, not just to my moms, to myself, that I could be better. And those people who believed in me, I just want to prove to them, dude, that I could be better. I could be a better person. You know what I mean? So, boom. He told me, yo, you could start right now. I started the same day, dude. I started a job, bro. The same day. 2 days later, me working. Legit working, dude. Mind you, I threw all the phones away and everything. I literally walked away. Literally, dude. Walked away. After I came out of the hospital, I went to say goodbye to a lot of people who was, you know what I mean, like in the circle that I was in. I told them straight up, I'm done. I mean, I always in the street, never owe nobody. I never do bad to your competitors. Never. If you think you're in the street, not even just in the streets, in life, period. If you, whatever you're doing, you're gonna have competitors. Even in the legitimate world, whatever you're doing, you're gonna have competitors. So, and guess what you do? You always wish the best for your competitors. You wish the best for everybody. So you don't never do bad. So I knew that walking away, I'm good because I never did bad to nobody. You know what I mean? Everybody that I affiliated myself with, I always kept it 1,000%. I never was on some snaky shit. I never been a crook. I never been good to you and stabbing you in your back. I never been like that. Never ever been like that, bro. You know what I mean? So once I decide like I'm done, I'm out. You know what I mean? 2, 3 days later, me working, finally going clocking in some 9 to 5 job. You know what I mean? I'm starting to see like cars pulling up by my house. Mind you, I live in a nice private house, nice neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like I don't live in a building area, so like when you see funny cars, like I've been living in my neighborhood for so many years with family, like so I know I'm one of those like I used to be paranoid, like dude, I used to always be paranoid. So when you're paranoid, it's even to this day I stay paranoid because being paranoid keep you going, dude. Like it keeps you circling. Like I used to always look at the cars before I go home, before I come outside. I always look at the cars in the neighborhood, the cars, the people that lives in the neighborhood, the cars that drive. So mind you, 3, 4 days into me working legit, I'm seeing funny cars were pulling up like by my house in the nighttime. I'll go home and I'm seeing funny cars, dude, with people I never seen in my neighborhood, dude. You know what I mean? Watching my house and I'm like, yo, this shit is not. I'm like, nah, this is it's crazy. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna get back at you guys with another video. We're gonna continue this conversation. This is just a little taste of what I have to express to you guys, man. I'm gonna let you know a piece of me. But normally I don't talk about my past and my life and stuff, but hopefully, once again, hopefully somebody could learn off my experience. And I mean, number one thing I always lived by from since I was a little kid. My grandmother used to always tell me those words. Remember, the things that you do today is going to determine what happens to you tomorrow. So always know that. I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I'm going to make another video. I have a lot of questions, as you can tell. People want to know a lot of things about me. So this is going to be my first video. Depends on the outcome of this video. I'm going to keep doing one video per week. So people get it, you know what I mean? People get to know me a little better. But always be good to each other, man. Always be good to each other. The color of your skin doesn't make you different from nobody else. We're all God's kids. We all was created by a higher power. So just always be respectful to each other, man. Always be good to each other. Don't let money get involved in your relationship with people. Money is the root of all evil. I've done seen a lot of bad happen over money. So I'm telling you, man, we're going to continue this conversation. But if you have intentions of going to the streets, I'm going to tell you, don't do it. If you really want to go, just know it's not as easy as you think. It's no friends in the streets. The next video, I'll let you know exactly the reason I said that to you. God bless everybody in the world, man. I mean, do good to each other. Always remember, the things you do today is going to determine what happens to you tomorrow. So you do bad today, guarantee bad is going to come tomorrow. Okay? If you don't come tomorrow, eventually it's going to come. Trust me. Take care of yourself and each other, man. Until next time. Salute. I'm out.